The Shield That Learned to Rest. Chapter 2. What She Held Too Long. Winter began her formal evaluation within Twilight Dawn. For the first time in a long while, she was no longer the obvious pillar of the group. She trained beside members who were physically stronger, faster, more experienced, confident in ways she wasn't used to standing next to. No one mocked her. No one looked down on her. And somehow, that made it worse. In her former, smaller guild, Winter had been a lead tank, the one others naturally gathered behind, the shield at the front of every formation. Here she was given a different role, secondary tank, a position meant to support, to rotate, to adapt. She understood the logic. It made sense on paper, but emotionally she felt smaller than she ever had before. Back inside Winter's dorm, warm lantern light filled her room, blending with faint moonlight from a small window. Snow-themed decorations lined the walls, paper snowflakes, pale blue ribbons, tiny star charms. Simple, gentle, uncluttered, just like Winter herself. This was her safe space, a quiet refuge where she could gather her thoughts and steady her heart. Whenever doubt crept in, her room wrapped her in a familiar comfort, softening the noise of the world outside. Still, the questions lingered, circling her mind. Was she overthinking? Was she doubting herself too much? Calm, reflective eyes carried only the faintest hint of worry beneath the surface. Not fear, growth. She now stood among equals, and those stronger than her. Not long after, Twilight Dawn received a major request. 3 powerful dragons had begun threatening a nearby town. Slaying them would secure the region and yield rare materials critical for future guild upgrades. The targets were clear. An ice dragon, the least dangerous. A dark dragon nicknamed Bone, relentless and merciless. And a light dragon, overwhelmingly powerful, unpredictable, and devastating. The raids would be carried out in groups of 3 in succession, each one more dangerous than the last. Winter joined all 3 missions, not as the lead tank, but as support. As the guild geared up and prepared to depart, Winter followed the others deeper into Twilight Dawn's guild center, toward a place she had only ever heard about, a sealed chamber. She had never been here before. It was said to open only when major raids were underway. Within the chamber stood a mesmerizing blue portal, its surface rippling softly, light bending and folding in on itself. Ancient, captivating, mysterious. These portals had been created centuries ago by wise mages and wizards, linking distant lands across the country. Their sole purpose was simple: to travel, to respond, to aid those in need. Winter paused for just a moment before stepping forward, her shield catching the portal's glow. Then, together with Twilight Dawn, she crossed through. The moment they stepped through the portal, the cold hit them. Freezing winds howled across an endless expanse of ice, cutting through armor and breath alike. With every step forward, the gale intensified, snow lifting into the air until the world blurred into white. By the time they reached the ice dragon's domain, the wind had become a full blizzard. Then it emerged. The first battle went smoothly. The ice dragon was powerful, but predictable. Winter held her position, absorbing heavy blows, adjusting when needed. There were a few stumbles, icy impacts that bit deeper than expected, but no one was hurt. The team moved cleanly, efficiently, like a machine already well practiced. When the dragon finally fell, its massive body lay half-buried in shattered ice and broken frost formations. The storm eased. Snow drifted down gently, almost peacefully. Winter stood nearby, shield lowered, shoulders rising as she exhaled, a small but visible release of tension. Her armor was scuffed, frost clung stubbornly to her shield, but she remained standing, unharmed. The others regrouped around her, calm, professional. Some checked their gear, others glanced her way, not with praise, not with awe, but with quiet acceptance. The fight was over, clean, efficient, successful. The second mission felt different. The dark dragon did not relent. Every mistake was punished. Every hesitation threatened death. This was the kind of battle Winter understood. She locked in. Her instincts sharpened. Her stance steadied. Her shield work became precise and relentless. This was pressure she knew, the kind where discipline meant survival, where trust mattered more than strength. She did what she always did, pulled the dragon's attention, intercepted deadly blows, shielded her allies wherever she could. And then, something she never expected happened. Her shield cracked, just a sliver, barely visible, lost in the chaos of battle. Winter didn't notice, but it meant something. She could still hold. She just couldn't hold forever. When the dark dragon, Bone, finally collapsed, its massive body twisted across shattered stone, wings torn and slack, the violet corruption draining from its form, the battlefield fell quiet. The glowing core in its chest dimmed, then fractured. They had won, exhausted, battered, victorious. And for a brief moment, Winter felt like herself again. A quick briefing followed. Raid leader Soul Exorcist gathered everyone amid the ruined battlefield. His armor was scarred, his face marked with grime and ash, but his posture was unwavering as he unfolded a worn map across the stone. They listened closely. The next target awaited. As they moved out, Noctis, the lead tank, lingered for a moment. Her eyes caught something from afar, a hairline crack in Winter's shield. She said nothing. The damage was minor, for now, but they were heading toward something far worse than the dark dragon. So she watched Winter carefully and stayed close. The third battlefield was unlike anything before it. A vast plateau bathed in blinding holy light. No wind, no debris, no sound, only a low, omnipresent hum of overwhelming power. Then the light dragon descended. Its wings spread wide, dwarfing the land itself. Gold, ivory, and white light layered across its body, dark armored scales framing its radiant core. The brilliance forced the guild to squint, to turn away. This was not rage. This was judgment. The third battle changed everything. The light dragon struck with terrifying grace. Blinding arcs of light carved through the battlefield, beautiful, devastating, sending shockwaves rippling through the ground. Radiant force fractured the earth, debris suspended midair in glowing halos. Then came its first decisive attack, a single swipe toward the front line. Winter moved without thinking. She slid into position, shield raised, body tense, eyes trembling, but determined. "Winter! Wait!" Noctis screamed. Too late. Winter blocked an attack she thought she could handle, and was thrown aside. The impact shattered her footing. Pain burned through her arms, her legs shook. Attacks she believed she could stop crashed through her defenses. Her confidence fractured. She was launched skyward, suspended against a glowing battlefield, her shield tumbling just out of reach. Fingers brushed the rim, then missed. She hit the ground hard. Silence followed. Winter lay motionless. For the first time, she tasted dirt. A sudden, deafening crash of armor and shield rang through the battlefield. It came from Winter's direction. The others turned, too fast, too suddenly, and their breath caught. Winter lay still where she had fallen, her shield thrown aside, its glow swallowed by the light dragon's overwhelming radiance. In that instant, the truth settled in. This dragon was not a test. It was not a trial to endure. It was a threat capable of taking everything from them. And the thought she'd been carrying alone finally surfaced. I can't protect everyone. I'm not strong enough. I can't do this alone. Then, a voice cut through the stillness. "Winter, we've got you," Noctis shouted. "We're here," Soul Exorcist called. "Don't give up," cried Atenat. "You don't have to do this alone," Menhera yelled. "Support Winter," Yukibal sobbed. For the first time, Winter hesitated. For the first time, she lowered her shield, and the world didn't collapse. Noctis dove forward, taking point. The team surged with her, rotating defenses, covering angles, striking where Winter couldn't. Winter wasn't fighting alone anymore. She was fighting with them, together. Healing light surged as Atenat and Yuki balls rushed to her side. As Winter's strength returned, the light dragon began to falter. Its movements grew wild, its strikes desperate, and that desperation became its downfall. Soul Exorcist and Menhera launched skyward in perfect synchronization, propelled by crackling arcs of purple lightning. They committed fully, no hesitation, no retreat. As they rose, Winter stirred. She placed a trembling hand on Noctis's arm. Divine light poured forth, pure, radiant, flowing into Noctis's shield. Teal energy fused with blinding white gold light, forming radiant, angular patterns across a reinforced barrier. The light erupted like a holy beacon, piercing the battlefield and momentarily blinding the light dragon. Framed by that divine flare, Soul Exorcist and Menhera struck. Their blades pierced the dragon's core. It shattered. With a thunderous collapse, the light dragon fell, defeated not by brute force, but by unity. Silence returned, then laughter, shaky at first. "We did it." Her voice trembled, thin and fragile. Relief spread through the group, bruised, exhausted, alive. They helped Winter to her feet and began the journey back toward the portal. For the first time in a long while, she smiled, not because she was the strongest, but because she finally understood that she didn't have to carry the shield alone anymore. With the light dragon defeated and the land finally quiet, they walked home side by side, hands brushing, shoulders pressed close. Winter smiled through tired eyes as she followed their footsteps, no longer guarding from the front, but held safely within them.